Welcome to our digitalized taxpayers briefing and orientation. I will be discussing about expanded withholding tax. The topic outline for this presentation includes the definition of expanded withholding tax and its importance, common expanded withholding tax rates used, the deadlines and the BIR forms used, how to compute for the correct tax due, and how to fill up the returns properly. What is expanded withholding tax? Expanded withholding tax is a kind of withholding tax which is prescribed on certain income payments and is creditable against the income tax due of the payee for the taxable quarter or period in which particular income was earned. Expanded withholding tax is important because it is an effective tool in the collection of taxes which encourages voluntary compliance. Visible on your screen are some of the common income payments and its prescribed expanded withholding tax rate. Please be reminded that if a taxpayer is a top withholding agent, they are also required to withhold 1% on their income payments to their supplier of goods and 2% on their income payments to their supplier of services. Question: when is the deadline and what BIR form is to use in filing our expanded withholding tax? For the monthly expanded withholding tax, we use BIR form number 0619E, which will due every 10th day of the following month. For the quarterly expanded withholding tax, we use BIR form number 1601EQ together with the quarterly ALPA list of payees, which will due every last day of the month following the taxable quarter. Here are the specific BIR form to be filed every month with their deadlines. Other than filing the monthly and quarterly returns, an annual information returns or BIR form number 1604E, which summarizes all the expanded withholding tax returns filed for the year, is also mandated to file on or before March 1 of the following year. Our next question will be, what amount should be remitted? This time, I will show you how to compute the correct tax due. There are 3 steps to remember in computing the correct expanded withholding tax. Step 1. Identify whether the payee is a VAT registered or a non-VAT registered taxpayer. Step 2. Determine the correct amount to be subjected with expanded withholding tax. Step 3. Multiply the prescribed withholding tax rate. To better understand the computation, here are some illustrations. Illustration 1. We identify that our payee is a VAT registered taxpayer. Step 2. Since the income payment includes VAT, we divide the amount with 112% to determine the correct amount to be subjected with expanded withholding tax. Step 3. Multiply with the prescribed withholding tax rate to come out with the amount to be remitted and withheld. Illustration 2. Step 1. Our payee is a non-VAT registered taxpayer. Step 2. Since the income payment does not include VAT, this would be the correct amount to be subjected with expanded withholding tax. Step 3. Multiply with the prescribed withholding tax rate to come out with the correct amount to be remitted and withheld. Now that we already know the right expanded withholding tax rate to multiply, what BIR forms to use, and how to compute for the correct tax due, let us now proceed to the last topic of this presentation, that is, how to fill up the BIR forms properly. In filing BIR form number 0619E, the following data are needed to be duly filled up. First is the taxable period, where we specify the taxable month the tax is applicable. Second, the tax identification number of the taxpayer. Third, complete name and address of the taxpayer. Fourth, total amount withheld. Fifth, amount to be remitted. And lastly, printed name and signature of the taxpayer. In filing BIR form number 1601EQ, the following data are needed to be duly filled up. First is the taxable period, where we specify the taxable quarter the tax is applicable. Second, the tax identification number of the taxpayer. Third, complete name and address of the taxpayer. Fourth, total amount withheld. Fifth, less the amount paid for the first 2 months. Sixth, total amount to be remitted. And lastly, printed name and signature of the taxpayer. That would be all for expanded withholding tax. Thank you for listening.
Ang buwis ko'y para sa Pilipino, lakas at galing, sipag talino.